Bansky is also in the workshop. Good morning, Mike. Right, bear with me. I had to go on a pie mission. I'm running a little bit behind schedule. But that's nothing new, is it really? To be fair. Ah, there we go, look. Perfect. YouTube has finally caught up. Do we have any volume? Nope, volume is turned off. Oh my word. There's loads of comments already. What do you guys like? Right, we'll start at the top. My apologies if I repeat myself. The Giant Governor. Hello, Andy, from South Africa. Good morning, the Giant. Hope all is good over there. Andy, it seems your live stream is not working. Oh, no. That's because at 8:04 in the morning, it hadn't started, the Giant. It starts at 8:30. But you can launch the thumbnail to drum up a little bit of, get the viewers good to go. Simon, good morning, Andy and crew. Good morning, Simon. Hope all is well in the UK. I hear that they've delayed the lockdown thingy over there for a bit longer till the end of July or something. So I hope you're probably getting pretty used to being locked down at the moment, but even so, it'd be nice to get out of it. The Giant, Smith, is your live stream working? Okay, sorry, Simon. That was at 8:19. Right, Alan Cook. Alan, I need to ask you something. Hiya, Simon, is live stream working for you? Right, I did put the thumbnail up really early because I had to go out and go and get a pie, which is here. Here is the pie. We're going to go for a bake shack today, look. All right. And that's about a 10-minute drive. So, yeah, trying to be organised. Sorry if I caused any confusion. The live stream starts at 8:30 a.m. New Zealand time. Now, where are we? Right. The James, Alan, okay. Perfect. Thank you, Simon. So I'm just going to skip through some of this stuff because it's all pre-live stream. There we go. Right. This is all going on while I'm buying a pie and driving back. It's great. Richard Perry. Hi, Andy and crew from West Midlands, GBGB. Well, good morning, Richard. Great to have you on board, matey. Mike Bazansky, good morning. Yes, good morning, Mike. Hope you're looking after all those motorcycles that you have. George Bonnie 90. Hello, everybody. Hello from West Virginia. Steve is also in the workshop. Good morning, Steve. You see? Always pushing the brand, mate. Always. Hey, Andy. Everyone, big thumbs up from Steve. Top bloke. Killswitch BB. Hi, Andy and crew. Hope you are all well. I am well. I am, to be perfectly honest, pretty knackered. And we'll come to why. And it's maybe not what you think. In a minute. We'll just catch up with the comments. Kyle Oak. Morning, glad to see you're back from Canada, Edmonton. I have never been to Canada. I want to go to Canada. Looking forward to it. George Bonnie 90. Hey, Steve, you're awesome. Steve is absolutely awesome. Oh, very nice. Steve, steak and cheese for Andy. Cloudy apples for Steve. Oh, having the cider, mate. Good job. The Giant. Andy, please, do you have any ideas when you're going to send me the spark tester? Thank you. You know, the Giants, I will get around to it. The problem is, Andy has a lot to do. Pretty busy chap. And great segue, actually. The Giant, let me just run through what was going on last week. In the meantime, before we start that, let's go and put said pie. And it is a little bit warm because it came out of there warmer, but they're only just opened, so it hadn't been on all night. So it does need to be sort of semi-cooked. So let's go and pop the old pie in the said pie warmer and get that fired up because I'm starving. Right, 3, 2, 1, here we go. Oh, now, oh, nearly. There's a vehicle in the workshop that you're not allowed to see, and I couldn't take it out because it's really heavy and it's on the stand and it's immobile. So I have to be super careful with the camera today, otherwise I'm in big trouble. Right, Mr. Pie goes in there. I reckon 10 minutes should be enough because it is already warm. Okay, there he goes. Looking forward to that one. Okay, being very cautious where the camera goes. Jeez. Okay, turning around. 3, 2, 1. Right, so we're going to run with that at the back. I'm not making any videos today after the live stream. I have got way too much to do. Okay, so how did last week, and that would include, I suppose, yesterday, how did last week go? Well, I made a few notes because on the last live stream, I really just couldn't remember, to be honest, off the cuff because it was such a weird week. Well, on Monday, I had to scoot back up to Auckland with the little trailer. And I took the motorcycle I rode down to Brass Monkey back. Didn't have time to wash it. Felt very, very guilty. And then dropped that off at HQ, I call it. Didn't hang around for very long at all. And then back on the road, had to go up north and go and check up on some laser cutting that I was getting done. So I'm going to take you across and show you all that. Very, very impressed by this new company that I've started to use. I did use them years and years ago when I lived up near Silverdale, and they made me some copper gaskets for one of Ben's motorcycles, and they did a great job. Very impressed. And they weren't overpriced either. So anyway, I had to go up there and do a visual inspection of the first one that they'd run off. They did me like a sample cut. I had to pay for it, obviously, but you know, far better to have one that's incorrect than have the whole batch incorrect. So you have to do things in stages. But very, very helpful chaps, and you know, we got through the process, and I think we've come up with a really good solution, because what I have to try to do now is work smart. You know, I don't mind making stuff from scratch, but in reality, you know, there's only so much time in the week, and the jobs just keep piling up. I mean, I've got an ROV in at the moment that's I really need to get done by tomorrow night, and then I've got 5 more of those to service and repair, and then I've got well, 7 or 8 more to underseal. That's a big job, taking all the panels off and stuff. And I want to build another carport, and I've got a deck to build, and it's pouring down a rain, and I've got all these brackets to do now. So, you know, got to be sensible. And I've got the project bikes. We're still, in fact, all waiting on the CB750 is some little tiny rubbers. It's like the first part that you'd fit before you can start putting it back together. So I haven't got those yet, so that's on hold. And Holly's DR200, all the parts are here, apart from the rear wheel that I got rebuilt, which is up near Matakana, which is about 2 hours north of Auckland. Guy's gone to ground. Can't get hold of him. Come on, Ken, answer your bloody phone. So he's got me wheel. I haven't paid him yet, but he's got me wheel, and I need my wheel back for the bike. So another dilemma. Anyway, we've gone off down a rabbit hole. Tuesday was spent in the office doing officey kind of stuff, which I hate, but it has to be done, and I got a lot done. And then late afternoon, I then jumped in the truck and went back down to Hamilton. Found a little house in the middle of nowhere. I was the first one there, which was nice. And then I did what we call field days. Now that's one word with one D in it. Field days. We did the National Field Days, which is based at Mystery. We all call it Misery Creek, just near the airport, actually, at Hamilton. So you can Google all of that if you like. And I was on my employer's stand. You all know who that is. For a couple of days, which was good. But I had to leave a little bit early. I think it was about 3 o'clock. No, it was 2 o'clock. It was 2 o'clock. I left at 2 o'clock on Thursday because I had to get back up to Auckland. I had to go to a stationery shop and get some stuff for the tribunal the following morning. I had to make a few little. I had to index the appendix for my presentation. So I got all that done that night and dealt with some other problems and some emails and bits and pieces. And in the mix, actually, on the Tuesday night, I edited up a video for you, which no, that was another video, which is for you, but in a few years' time. I managed to get that other one done for the LED lights. You've all seen that. Not very popular, but I think it's important information that needs to go out. It would certainly have helped me if I had seen that video before I bought any LED lights, put it that way. And it was interesting what we saw on the scope, actually, as well. And I was very lucky. I used the attenuator. I was quite impressed by that. Otherwise, it could have caused some damage to the scope, and that's hence why I used it. And then we did the old Fieldays stuff, which was all right. It was all right. It was quite funny actually because 3 kids came in, and obviously we've got like a model catalogue on the counter. There's lots of them that people can take away, and this young lad said, "Please, sir, can I have one of your catalogues?" And I was busy, flat out on the old laptop trying to sort some problems out, bounce some emails back with some stuff in them. And I looked across and I went, maybe. You need to answer a question. And he's like, like this, he was a bit startled because he was expecting just for me to say yes. And I needed a bit of a break anyway. And I said, right, I'm going to choose a photo of somebody driving a vehicle in that catalogue, and you've got to look at all the staff that are on the stand, and you've got to tell me which member of staff it is that's in the photo. And of course, they've got a crash helmet on and stuff, so it's not that easy. And so I pointed out a photo, and this little lad's looking at the photo, and he doesn't even bother looking around the room. He just looks at me, looks at the photo, and then you could see the gears turning in his head, and he looks at me and goes, "It's you!" And I went, "It is. Well done. But you have one more question." So I showed him another photo on a different page, and I said, "And who's that?" He said, "It's you again!" And I'm like, "Right, well done." He says, "You're famous!" And he asked me to autograph the catalogue, so I did that for him. And then each of his mates got one as well, which was great. So a bit of fun in between getting admin work done, and that 2 or 3 minutes of that, it's amazing how that kind of thing revitalizes you, and you get your mojo back and you're away again, aren't you? So we finished that, went up to Auckland, and then spent most of the night preparing for a tribunal hearing that I had to go to. Can't give you any details on that. We'll see how that went. Basically, I did what I needed to do. It seemed to be quite amicable. There was no decision made. I didn't move an inch, which is my policy normally. Otherwise I'd have done that before the tribunal. I'm not having a tribunal hearing person, adjudicator, put pressure on me to change my mind. It's all about standing your ground, isn't it? When you know you're right, you've got to stand your ground. If you start to give a little bit, then I think it just messes things up a little bit. So I just said everything I want to say is in there. And if you ever go to tribunal, a little trick for you is at the start they introduce themselves, and then each party gets a chance to have a little talk. No, it hasn't gone ping yet. Has a little talk, and the important thing to do is when you get a chance to talk is to ask the adjudicator, judgy kind of person, whatever they are, have you had chance to read through my submission? And they will always say no, because in this case, and I've never had one say yes. This one said, "Oh, I've flicked through it," which basically is no. So you have to seize that moment and say, right, there's some very important information in this document. It took a long time to put together. I'm going to read it to you. And that's the way I work. So I sat there for 45 minutes and read my entire document. There's the pie. Right, I'll give it 2 minutes to stand. Read the entire document, referred to all the references in the appendix, and it took about 45 minutes. But it meant that all the information that I wanted to present had now been presented and had to be taken into consideration. So, little trick for you, that's what you have to do. Otherwise, they just get snippets of the whole problem and often can get the wrong, or make the wrong decision, because, there is legislation that they've got to adhere to. Anyway, next week, well, actually this weekend, as I've said, I've got an ROV to service and repair. Mrs. Mechanic was in the workshop yesterday helping me out. The calipers, the brake calipers, the service brake calipers especially, were in a terrible condition. This is quite an old one. But I have been painting the calipers at every service now, every strip down. The service is basically once a year. And no more corrosion, no more blown out dust seals, fixed. Very, very happy with that. Going to save the surf clubs a tremendous amount of money in the future, and mean that we can keep the dust seals in place as well. So the calipers work as they should. So hopefully that'll be finished by tomorrow night, but there's a lot of work to do. And then next week, I've got to go over to Napier, and loan an ROV, pick up another one, go back to Auckland. That's Monday, and that pretty much will be Monday. It's quite a long drive with the trailer, and the road between Taupo and Napier is a lot of the tar's gone, and it's just bare bitumen, and it's in the wet. It's incredibly slippy. There's been a lot of accidents on there, and the government's looking at bringing the speed limit down to 8 rather than fix the road. They're looking at bringing the speed limit down. A lot of trucks use that road. I think that's why the bitumen's the tarmac's failed. Now, Tuesday I'm at head office, HQ, and then Wednesday to Friday I'm still at HQ, but I'm doing training. Unfortunately, not technical training, it's other car training, but it has to be done. And then Friday night coming home, and then the weekend I'll be doing stuff. I don't think it'll be another ROV because I don't think I can get this one back to Auckland during that week and do a swap. So I'm going to be another week behind, but this is the way it is. Unless I decide to do a night run, come home, pick it up. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. But yes, long days. When I was editing that video on Tuesday night, it wasn't Tuesday night when I finished. It was the early hours of Wednesday morning. We'd gone out to the pub. Yeah. So that makes editing a lot harder, I find. Anyway, that's my little story. We've got a few little things to look at as well. Let's try and catch up with some comments first before we go any further, otherwise I'll be way behind. And then we'll go and get the pie. How's that? Right. Dum 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 dum. Oh, it done Kyle. Right. George Bonnie 90. Hi Steve, you're awesome. He is definitely awesome. Right, done that one. The Giants got that. Right, Derek K. Kiora from Waikato, not too far away. Good morning, Derek K. Great to have you on board, matey. Simon Roll, cider. Cider's great. Connor K is in the workshop. Good morning, Connor. Hope you're putting those tools to good use. I'm sure you will be. Now, what does Connor have to say? Good morning, Andy and crew. It's time for talk, tools, and pie. It is. Yes, looking forward to that pie. I'm pretty hungry. I was very pleased that they had one, actually. Normally, that petrol station doesn't have pies ready at 8 a.m. I think they just chucked them in the warmer, to be honest. Steve, throw a sheet over the bike, mate. Danger averted. That was the plan. Unfortunately, and I know you're going to think this is a bit weird, but Mrs. Mechanic, every spare sheet that's like old sheets that are torn and stuff, she's already chopped up for rags. She just didn't have one, so it's just over there. But you can't see it. It's a secret. It's the ATV that I bought in the South Island, and I started making a video last weekend on it, and I need to order some parts. I have ordered some parts, they haven't arrived yet. So I can't finish the video, and I'm not taking it off the hoist. So we have to just work around it. It's pretty heavy, to be honest. It's a much heavier quad bike than the ones nowadays, of that size. Now then, so good call, Steve. Good call, but no sheets. And I do have a tarpaulin up there, look, big green one, but it's massive, and I just don't want to unroll it. So that's it. Yeah. John Dwyer. Hi Andy, hope you're well. I am fine, John. I'm running on sort of about 20% at the moment, but I'm doing all right. I've got a big day ahead of me to get this ROV finished, and it's cold and wet outside. It's under the carport, which is nice, but even so, it's not great. And the reason why I don't bring them in the workshop is because I take all the wheels off to get the calipers off, and then it's immobile, and I have a live stream to do. So this is what I do for you. I work outside so I can do the live stream. How's that for dedication? You better turn your volume up. I'm not very loud today, am I? So I'll try and speak up. Now then, Alan Cook, pie must be ready. Yes, it will be ready. Let me just 3 more comments. George Bonnie 90, that's a great tip. Thank you. That's okay. I say I've not done lots of tribunal hearings, but I've found it's a really good way of getting your information across. Because sometimes, you know, once they start the process of talking about it, you don't have the opportunity to read the whole thing out. You know, so you've got to seize that moment while you can, and they can't stop you. They have to just sit there and listen and make notes. Roger Heaps, good morning, Roger. Good morning, Andy. A little fragile this morning, mate. Turned up and we finished a bottle of Jameson's. Bottle plus of Jameson. Oh my word, mate. Okay, maybe turn your volume down a bit, Roger. Gary Lennox. Good name. Gary Lennox. Good morning, Andy. Sorry I'm late. I was watching Euro 2020 between Spain and Poland. Is that back on again? Really? We don't get it over here. It's probably on Sky, I think, but I don't have Sky, so it's all right. John Dwyer. How's your oh my God. It's getting quite long, actually. Are you ready? No, look. It's sort of... It's starting, I won't say annoying, but I know it's there. Yeah. Mrs. Mechanic wonders what the hell's going on. The thing is, when do you stop? When do you get it cut? You know, and then decide on that length. I don't know. First ever ponytail. Never thought I would ever have a ponytail. Much to the amusement of some people, I must admit. Simon, the amount of calipers I see without dust seals is unreal. Really? Is that right? People just take them out and bin them because of whatever problem. Yeah, well, I suppose, but it's not a good idea, I don't think. Right, let's go and get the pie. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Very careful with the camera. You've got to keep reminding me. You can't see that far corner of the workshop. Okay, going in. We're going in. It's a long way over for this pie machine. Okay. Close the door, Andy. Keep the rats out. Okay, what have we got? Bake Shack. Oh, careful with the camera. Careful with the camera. I'll tell you, that's... Oh, wait for it. That's as far as we can go, look. We can't go any further that way. And if we go around this way, look. Yes, Alan's bike's still here. We can go to about there. That's it. We can't go any further. The tyre is an aftermarket tyre, so I could show that on the camera. Honestly, the things I have to do. Right, 3, 2, 1. Boom. There we go, look. Okay, we're going to do pie. We're going to do pie because I need pie now. Okay. Got me score sheets, my bit of cardboard. So this is the Bake Shack steak and cheese. They were established in 1999. It says here New Zealand owned, which is nice to hear. It hasn't been bought out by somebody from China yet. It's made fresh and it's MSG free. Whatever the hell that means, I don't know. It's got an AM PM thing, but nobody's bothered to tick that or put anything in it. But it does say homemade quality. So somebody's mum somewhere is at home making these pies flat out for the New Zealand population. Now, it's got a bit of stuff on the back. So I'm going to read that to you first. Why does this pie taste so awesome? Well, that's yet to be found out, isn't it? Because it's been made the old-fashioned way, using the freshest natural ingredients. We hope you enjoy eating this as much as we enjoyed making it for you. Right, that's probably about all you need to know. Okay, we'll come to the rest of it later on. Here we go, one pie, one Bake Shack steak and cheese coming up. Oh, it's nice. I like the packaging because it's paper, it's not plastic. I like that. That might burden its flavour a bit later on. Ooh, it's a bit crumbly. Right. So, first job, I think we need to look at the structure. We're getting the hang of this now, aren't we? So, can you spot any catastrophic or integral flaws in the pastry? There's a couple of cracks, isn't there? There's a couple of cracks in there, but they're sort of hanging in there. What's the underside like? Ooh, we've got some pretty severe potential pie catastrophe going on just down here if that base lets go, but maybe not. Oh, hang on, we have got some flecks. We've already got flecks in said pie. Now I've been very careful with this when I was transporting it. I haven't, you know, mutilated it whilst driving. It didn't fall off the seat. What do we like for gluage? It's not bad. It's not bad. Okay, so structure. I think it's not bad. Where's me pen? What do you reckon? Or should we keep going? Maybe we'll score structure. See if it starts to break up on us. Let's go for a taste. Perfect temperature, by the way. We're getting the hang of that dial now. There you go. Look, I know you want to see the insides. Looks pretty good. Not had any big lumps of meat yet. You know I like my big lumps of meat. We've got a bit of saggage. Oh my word, look at that. So you've got to support the pie when eating it. So it's not going to be too good at eating during driving. It tastes pretty good there. Give them that. But it is very, very, very soft. Look at that. A lot of flex going on. Not a lot of structure. And it's a bit crummy. There's crumbs all over the bench. In fact, I'll show you. Here, look. We've got crumbs going on all over the place. And we're nowhere near the end of pie yet. So definitely not one for in the car whilst driving. I would, you know, both from a structural perspective and from a crumminess point of view as well. So let's do some few scores. Structure is getting worse by the second. So I think it's pretty bad. I'm going to go for a 4. Well, I think maybe even a 3 actually. Let's go with a 3 because it was showing signs of failure straight out of the packet. Taste is pretty good actually. It's not the best pie I've had, but it's not bad. I think you should get an 8 for taste. I think 8's a good score. Runnability. Okay, well here goes. It could end up in a disaster. Oh, we've got some runnage. We had some flow. It's hanging in there though. It seems to have solidified now. Okay, alright, well it's not too bad. Let's give that a score for runnability, which has got nothing to do with structure, by the way. Let's give that, I think it's maybe a 7. We'll give that a 7 for now. If something falls out, then obviously we'll change that. Meat quality. Well, I've really only had mince so far. Little tiny bits of steak. And it is a steak and cheese, not a mince and cheese, so. I think to be a true steak pie, it has to have lumps of steak in it. That's my definition. It's getting pretty broken up now on the base. It's really a two-hand pie. Oh, hang on. Yeah, okay. Still, it wants me to keep eating it. Tastes good. Still no large lumps of meat though. So we'll have to leave that one for a bit later on. Pie to crust ratio. Oh, God. Oh, we've got flow. We've got leakage. We've got leakage. That's not good, look. We've got cheesy leakageness. Oh, we've got droppage. We've got droppage. You see, it's times like this where if you're driving your truck whilst eating this particular pie, you have a serious problem. It's gonna, there you go, look. There you go. It would definitely cause some pretty serious weaving around on the road, which is potentially dangerous. This is quite a dangerous pie, actually, I think. I feel I'm starting to speed up with the consumption because of this sudden collapse in structure. So Structure is going to potentially drop even further, to be honest. Good show of contents there, though, before it all drops out. Don't go away, Jim. I've got a question for you. Oh, look at that now. We've got some serious problems going on. Whoa. This has suddenly become... It's suddenly become a... Oh, we've even got drippage on the cover. Starting to panic a bit now. I think I might lose some of my pie. So pie to crust ratio, just going back trying to score it before it all collapses. I think it's not too bad. The pastry isn't over thick, and there is a reasonable volume of contents, some of which is trying to escape, obviously, but you know. Golly. Wow. Definitely the worst yet for structure. Okay, Foley Partners has gone down to 2. Meat quality, still no large lumps. 1 lump. Okay, we had a lump. Tastes okay. I'm going to give it a 5. And it was that last lump that saved the day. So I've had 1 lump of meat in the whole pie so far. Pie to crust ratio, I'm going to give that a 7. We'll come to availability of logistics a bit later on. I can't do that at the moment. My hands are way too busy. Pastry taste rating. God, dare I take a bit of pastry off this and just risk the integrity even further? I don't know. Okay, bit of pastry, no meat on it whatsoever. Well, there's no aftertaste. There's no nasty aftertaste on it, like on the last pie. You can eat the pastry on it though. Not great. I'm going to give it a 6. 6 for that one. We'll cover the packaging design in a minute once I've finished consumption. Okay, pie server attractiveness. Well, actually we can give this a real score. Local garage. She might even watch the videos. Middle-aged, but hey, so am I. I would say I'm going to give her a 6. I'm going to give her a 6. Okay. Now, let's keep going. Let's try and get rid of the pie now. Whoa, whoa, oh, oh, oh. Okay. Luckily I cleaned the workbench yesterday. Overall, it doesn't taste bad, but it's hard work eating it. And it's got onion in it. There's no mention of onion on the packaging, and some people don't like onions, and it's got onions in it. Okay. Do I feel stuffed? Would I eat another one? Or do I need to eat something else to add to it? No, I'm alright. I could almost eat something else, but I'm alright. But I did go into this little survey today feeling pretty hungry. So that might be the reason why maybe I could eat some more. I'm going to give it an 8. It wasn't too bad. Now, recyclable score. Just shaking off all the crumbs and stuff. That will be all over your car. It's not a good look. It isn't. And that will be all over your shirt. And that's not a good look either, is it? You know. Basically, you've gone for a pie. You've got all your suit and tie on. You've gone into your car. You thought, I'll have a cheeky pie on the way to work. And now your car and you look a complete mess. You've got a problem. So recyclable. Well, it's paper packaging and it's got the recyclable badge on the back, which means you can just recycle it like a piece of paper. Other than the fact that it's got food all over it, that's my fault. So, recyclable score. Well done, Bake Shack. You're going to score 10 out of 10 for that one. Fully recyclable. Okay. Would that pie still be tasty when cold? Hard to say, isn't it? Now we've had to eat it so quickly, it didn't get a chance to get cold. I'm going to give it a 5. Somewhere middle of the road. Oh, pardon me. So we'll give that a 5. Swig of coffee before that goes cold. Now, packaging design. Well, it's a design that didn't take very long to make. Now, they do say homemade quality. Well, that definitely applies to the packaging as well, or the design of the packaging, because that does look like somebody's learnt to use Photoshop about a week earlier and thrown that together. But it is simple, and it's not overstating itself. You know, it's not all glitzy. I think it's, you know, it's back to basics. Almost like survival rations, really. It's not bad. It's not great. It's a bit like the pie, really, isn't it? Okay, so packaging design. They've used paper. That's got to go into the design factor. It's paper, so it's cheap. It's recyclable. They've put some thought into it. I'm going to give them a 6. I'm going to give them a 6 for that. Okay, availability stroke logistics. Now that I've got fingers again, let's have a little look and see if maybe you can order them online like the last one we looked at. So, Bake Shack. Pies. Bake Shack quality. Right, I'll just open the website and then we'll have a little look. Okay, turning you around. 3, 2, 1. Moving pie. Casing, there we go, look. Oh, that was good timing, wasn't it? Cura, welcome to Bake Shack. Homemade quality since 1999. View our range. Pies, glorious pies. My pie did not look like that. That's a staged pie. Kiwis love them, and we love making them. From traditional flavours to gourmet and specialty pies. That must be a gourmet one. You simply won't find a better tasting pie for the price. I don't even know what it cost, to be honest. I just paid the money. Nice savouries. Oh, gee, they make a lot of stuff then, don't they? Look at this. Sandwiches. They've got good looking buns. Nice. Okay, well. Wholesale products. Wholesale. I'm not wholesale though. I'm a retail person wanting to buy a pie. Contact, login, catering. It doesn't say anywhere where I can buy them from. Okay. Now there isn't a. Look at this. There isn't a gourmet, is there? So where's the steak and cheese? Steak and onion. You see, we got onion in ours, and it wasn't an onion pie. Steak and cheese. Steak and cheese. Where's steak and cheese? Oh, there. Steak and cheese. Right. Okay. Well, it was. I'm going to give you lots more clues now. Right. So just signing that bit off. It came from a gas petrol station. So I don't know if all gas petrol stations sell the Bake Shack pies. They might. So let's see how many gas petrol stations there are in New Zealand. And they are doing a rollout at the moment where there's more. Can't spell petrol anymore for some reason. Over 120. Okay, that's not too bad. So availability. Doesn't say on the website where you can get them from. That's bad marketing. You can only order them through the website potentially if you're wholesale. I'm not wholesale. I don't need that many pies. So availability. And this has to be availability for the general public, not just for me. And now, obviously for me, it's readily available because, providing they put it in the pie warmer, it's just down the road. So that's readily available. But you might not live just down the road to a gas petrol station. And I don't see them around that much. So from my perspective, I have, they're not in your face like McDonald's would be. So an in your face would be a score of 10, and it's not in my face. Or if you could order it online, it wouldn't matter where you lived. You can't. What do you reckon? 120 outlets around New Zealand. So it's going to be, there should be a pie within, one of these pies within probably an average of an hour's drive, regardless of where you live in New Zealand. Maybe 45 minutes. What do you reckon? 5? I'm going to go with 5. You can tell me off if you like. Post heartburn. Well, at the moment, there isn't any. There was no aggressive tastes in there. What have we got as regards contents? Ingredients. Here we go, look. Let's see if it mentions onions. Water, beef, wheat flour, cheese, margarine, onion. Okay, well, at least to say it in the ingredients. Modified maize starch. Doesn't that give you heartburn? Starch. Natural seasoning, salt, glaze, pepper, caramel colour. Wow, they put caramel colouring in there just to make it look nice. Heartburn, there isn't any. I might change the score later on. I'm gonna give it. There was no burps, no nothing. I'm gonna give it a 10 on that one. It was a straight down, easy to eat as regards, swallow. Okay, I need to add this up. I think we've done them all. So what do you reckon it's scored? I don't know. Okay, so taste and flavour was 8. Structure, fall partners, I gave it a 2 because it was horrendous. Runnability 7. We've seen, in fact, that's going to be 6. We had a few drops now. That's going to be a 6. Sorry. I think the combination of the poor structure and the fact that the content in some parts of the internals was runny. So runnability got 6. Meat quality got 5. Pie to crust ratio 7. Availability logistics got 5. Pastry taste rating 6. Still tasty when cold. I think it'd be alright. I mean, if I found it in my glove box the day after and it was stone cold, I wouldn't be like, ooh, a pie, let's eat that. It would be like, I'm starving, I'm in the middle of nowhere, I'm going to have to eat that. That's sort of the way I would feel. Packaging design, pretty average, 6. Recyclable score, perfect, made out of paper, fully recyclable, providing you scrape off all the bits of pie that are on it. It got a 10 for that. Post heartburn, there isn't any, no burps, no nothing, 10. Stuffability score, yeah, I actually feel pretty full, so I've given it an 8. And the pie server attractiveness, that's the young lady, well, middle-aged lady actually, down at the local gas station. I gave her a 6. I mean, she may not be over happy with that 6. She may think she's a 7 or an 8, but we have to be realistic, chaps, don't we? Okay, and she's got to face the raw truth. She's a 6. I'm looking forward to reading the comments after that one. Oh my word. Okay, so let's add it up. So we've got 10, 16, 21, 28, 33, 39, 44, 50, 60, 70, 78, 84. 80. Who would have thought? That's an 84 pie. Okay, where's my bit of magnetic stuff? Jeez, there's stuff everywhere on this table. Right. Okay, let's get you down. I know you like to watch me write this out. I know you do. Hang on. 3, 2, 1. Going down. Oh. There we go, look. Right, so you can study all the bits of pie. Look at this. There's pie everywhere. It's disgraceful. Right, so Bake Shack. This was steak and cheese. Now, just for those that need to know, it's a 200 gram. And we give it 84. Like I say, that score might change if I suddenly get loads of heartburn later on, but I think we're pretty good. Okay, right, so let's go and stick this on the board and see where it lines up with the other ones. Okay, it's not great. So it's not quite as good as the old. Hang on. I need to move this one down a bit, and it doesn't want to slide. Oh, there we go. Look. Right. So it's coming just below Oxford pies, but still way ahead of the Big Ben steak and cheese and bacon double XL. Okay, well, we're getting there, slowly but surely. We're getting quite a good little appraisal of the New Zealand pies. We're up to, was it 5 pies? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 pies so far. Pretty good. Right, careful with the camera, Andy. Careful with the camera. Careful with the camera. What else can we do while we're up? No, let's go back to comments. Let's just pace ourselves. Right. Okay. Pacing ourselves. Because we've got a whole... it's pouring down a rain. I don't want to go outside and fix the ROV. I've lost all my motivation. I'd much rather talk to you guys, to be honest. Let's give the rats some food for tonight. There we go. Look, keep them happy. Get rid of that. Now, Alan Cook is still on. Just want to ask Alan. Oh, water on the bench. Right, Alan. This came in the post. It has arrived. Just to confirm, I'll put it on the thumbnail for you to say thank you very much. Alan, is this for Holly? Because you've not indicated on the outside that this is the one for Holly or not. I haven't opened it. Can you let me know if this is for Holly or not? If it's for me, then I'll open it. If it's for Holly, I'll keep it sealed until Holly comes into the workshop in a few weeks' time. And she is coming back. Believe me, she is. I know, I've been saying that for months, but she is. She is. Right. Oh, we had a burp. Hang on, got to scroll back. Okay, right, John Dwyer, I think we've covered the ponytail now. There, look, that's terrible, isn't it? It's terrible. You shake your head and I just don't know. I'm still in two minds. But I've still got hair, which is good. And in a few years' time, I can guarantee I'm going to be bald. I'm absolutely certain of it. Right, so Simon, done that one. John Dwyer looks good. Well, thank you very much, John. Compliments all around, mate. Cheers. Gary Lennox, I'm looking forward to the pie review as well. Well, we've done it. Alan Cook, you got mail. I did. Right, Alan, so tell me. Connor K, I used the sockets and tool bag yesterday. Went to someone's home to do some plumbing repairs. Remind me to bring a hacksaw next time. Had to run home and get it. The mind is the first thing to go. It is. There's so much stuff that I can't remember that I know, and I can't remember it anymore. I have to look it up. And then I go, I knew that. Didn't have to look it up. But I didn't know it because I had to look it up. Bizarre. Jim K, hello crew. Good morning, Jim. Jim, I have a question for you. Now, I can't tell you the brand, but you will know the brand. Can't tell you the model, but you'll know the model because we talk about it a lot on the phone. Well, okay, it's the one that I normally service. There you go. Right, CVT drive, belt, current measurement 32.7, minimum thickness, you know what it is, 32.5. Annual service, I know they don't wear a lot. It obviously has one. Do I change the belt? I think it's right on that borderline point. The vehicle is an emergency vehicle, and I think that's what's going to tip the decision-making process into, I'm going to fit a new belt. I am. I've got one here. I'm going to fit it. I need to know your verdict. If you were in my situation, what would you do? Good question, Andy. For Sunday morning. Pretty good, eh? Right. Springy 2112. Pi is MSG free, which means it has no messages. Apparently that's monosodium glutamate. Not a clue, mate. Must be bad stuff to have to exclude it. Yes, I would agree. It's like there's no paint stripper in Paint Stripper because it's nasty. That makes sense. Simon, it's not a BP pie then. It isn't a BP pie. It was nowhere near a BP pie. Springy 2112, it's a flavor enhancer used a lot in Chinese food. That could explain a lot of things, and I'm not going to go into it. Steve, first ever pie-tastrophe live on camera. Seriously, that pie would have been dangerous if you'd been eating it or attempting to eat it whilst driving. Not good at all. Alan Cook, I can hear rain. It's been raining most of the night, Alan. It really has. John Nuttall, damn, I want that pie. Well, John, if you do, you've got a long, long drive ahead of you. Simon, I'm sure there is a. Hang on a minute. I'm sure there is a clod bit of pie left. There's a little bit. Oh, there's a little bit there left on the packaging. You know, we could do a profile shot there. Look at that. So we've got, you know, there's a bit on there, which has been wasted. That's wasted pie. That's bad. And I'm not going to lick it off the packaging. I'm not. We live in a COVID world. I'm not going to lick the packaging. Probably makes no difference. George Bonnie 90, would you buy that pie again? Well, if I needed a pie, and you know, it's rarely a case of wanting a pie. Normally you need pies. A bit like bog roll, I suppose, isn't it? Now, and it's local. It's only probably 6.5 minutes drive, to be exact, providing there's no traffic. So it ticks the box. It is a pie. We can't dispute the fact it is a pie. But I'll be very dubious about, you know, if I was trying to stay clean and not have pie dribbled all down my front. And it wouldn't be a good look if one of the tool girls is in the workshop, to be fair. You know, you're there munching your way through this pie and it's oozing through your fingers and dribbling down your shirt. It's not a good look, especially with a tool girl around. It's not a good look. So that would be probably the only reason why I would hold off. If I needed a pie and that was the only one available, I probably would hold off and not buy that particular pie for that very reason. Okay. But good call, Steve. Pie catastrophe on camera, absolutely. Alan Cook, I can hear rain. John, I want the pie. Simon, yeah, got that. Sorry, I've gone back again. My fault. So would I buy that pie again? Like I say, only in certain circumstances. Steve, thumbs up, folks. Yes, do the thumbs up, people. Why not? Vijay Governor, haven't forgotten about your spark test. It's still there in my mind. You just show us your RV. I can't. Alan Cook, Blue Bike. Yes. Vijayant. Yes, Alan. Vijayant. Petrol. Yes. Oh, private conversation going on. Oh my word, there's so many comments. Kyle Oak, I've got a question about my Kawasaki Ninja 500 2009. Gears 1 to 3, very hard to switch, but 3 to 6 are fine. This goes with downshifting also. Any ideas why problem just randomly starts occurring? Now then, that's weird. So 1 to 3 hard to shift. So you've got to think, what's common? What are the common components to the shifting of gears 1, 2, and 3, and that are not in the mix for 4, 5, and 6. Now, in your gearbox, each shift fork can only shift 2 gears, you know, for example, first, second, and so on. So the fact that I don't think there's a shift fork issue, which is good because that's a full engine strip, usually. I think it's more likely a drum issue, or possibly even the actual little part. It's like a little claw. It has 2 little claws, one at either end, and it grabs the little dowel sticking off the selector drum to pull it round. So what I would do is I'd drain the oil, pull the clutch cover off, and you should then be able to see, if it's a standard layout motorcycle gearbox, you should then be able to see the shaft that runs through the gearbox from your gear lever, and then it has a little arm on it and a spring, so maybe the spring's a bit iffy, but also you can see these 2 claws, and you'll be able to select those gears and watch what's happening, and you might find that something's burred over or something's broken. Have a look, visual inspection with the clutch cover off. and see how you go. Also, it'd be a great idea to see if you can download the service manual and have a look to see how the whole thing works before you pull it apart. And all you're doing at the moment is taking the cover off. You don't have to, well, usually you don't have to take any other parts off the engine, it's just the cover. So you should be able to do that okay. You might need a new gasket though. John Nuttall, was that the first square pie? No, I'll have to look back at the footage, but I think the first, that triple XL one, I think that was square. I could be wrong. You guys will know because you watch all my videos. Alan Cook, yes. Is that yes, it's for Holly? Please confirm. Just put the word yes, it's for Holly on a comment, Alan, just to be sure. Gary Lennox, Andy, I'm curious about something. We're all curious about many things. What's the ratio between automatic gearbox cars and manual gearbox cars in New Zealand? Oh my word, that's an easy one. And it's changing year on year, you know, with all these electronic gearboxes and stuff that are out there now. The vast majority are automatic gearboxes in some form, whether it's CVT drive, like on the Nissan Leafs there and things, or even the high-end stuff, you know, the Tiptronic and the paddly shift stuff and things. Yeah, just, it's crap. Even my Utes Auto. But I am looking at getting, it won't be for a while now because I've bought a digger, but I am looking at getting a Land Cruiser, I forget the series, but it's the one with the V8 diesel in it, turbo diesel. 4.5 litre I think it is, which I know is tiny for the US, you know, but here it's quite big. But that will be a manual, absolutely a manual. I can't, you know, I want to get back into driving manuals again. I love driving manual cars and trucks. But yeah, to answer your question, I would guesstimate 98% are autos now. Could even be higher than that. Alan Cook, but Mrs. Mechanic's car's manual. Took ages to arrive. And a note for you. Okay, so it is for Holly. And there's a note for me. So, Alan, are you okay for me to open it when Holly's here, or do you want me to open it now and read out the note to me? Tell me. Jones or U812? So Jones, that'll do. Hello from Alabama. Hello, Jones. Roger Heaps. Bacon. Oh, here we go. Bacon, eggs, and 2 coffees. Yep, that hasn't fixed it. Better get the frying pan out again, mate. Mixed Mowers, yo, from the GB. Hope all is good, mate. Everything is just fine apart from the weather. It's been raining pretty much every day at home now for about a week. Everything's sodden, the roof's leaking, it's a bit windy, it's cold outside, and I've still got over half of the work to do on an ROV, so today's going to be a long, long day. I don't have to get it finished today, but if I do, it means the invoice goes out a little bit sooner, and that's nice. So there's an incentive, and I've got all the bits to do it. I spent a lot of money on restocking parts, I must admit. The old roll cab's full, brimming. Mrs. Mechanic wasn't over happy when she saw the invoice, but hey, you've got to spend it to make it. That's right, isn't it? Jim K, can you really put a price on someone's life? Man, that's a great statement. I would replace it, and it would be a good spare for a surf club or something. Yes, so great call, Jim, actually. So keep the old belt, and if I'm servicing up a unit, one of the surf club machines that we know is going to be sold and the belt's worn out, pop that one in. Right, decision made. Thank you, Jim. And I'll remember that phrase, can you really put a price on somebody's life? Because it causes a tremendous problem. If they go to use the machine, it doesn't work properly, it can't tow the boat down to the beach, you know, then the belt's slipping, it can't go anywhere, it's stuck in the sand. It's not a good look, especially for the guy that's in the drink, you know, needing to be rescued. He's not going to be over happy, is he? Why didn't your machine work? Who services it? So, good call. Pat Toohill, just got here, been working on my hay baler, now inside cooling off for a while. Well, Pat, we're going to have something else in common. If you've got a hay baler, obviously a farmer, I have just, well, going to pay the deposit tomorrow. Actually, it's in the bank, ready. A Kubota B3150 with a Form 1 bucket on the front and a backhoe on the rear. Obviously a backhoe, and it goes on the rear, but you know what I mean. Yes. And I'm also going to get, at some point in the future, because I can't afford it all at once, I'm going to get a set of forks, pallet forks for the front, so I can move pallets around, which is a really good idea. I like to do that kind of stuff. And I do have a forklift truck license. It might be expired now. And I also would like to get, although there's no guarantee, it's only because I'm lazy, is a hole borer. You know, one of those hydraulically driven hole borers to go on the rear. So you take the bucket off and it clips onto the backhoe. That would be really cool. But in all honesty, it would be a luxury. I'm sure I can bore lots of holes using it, but in reality, it's a lot of overkill for the number of holes that I need to bore to put up the new shed that's going to go down the bottom of the garden once I've landscaped and levelled the whole site, which is the main reason for getting the digger, and to get rid of some bamboo that we've got. Yes, I know I can hire one, but hey, why not buy one? Then you've got it forever, and you can do more stuff. Right. Alan Cook, you can open it. Thank you, Alan. Here we go. Right, I'm going to open it gingerly. In fact, let me get my knife. Back in a second. Hang on. You can peruse the workshop. Now, the knife is a bit blunt at the moment. I was cutting up strips of sandpaper yesterday, and that blunts the blades really quick. But it's a really good way of saving money, because I've run out of emery cloth. In fact, I ran out years ago, so I've just been using up my sandpaper and cutting it into strips. But now I've run out of sandpaper, so I need to buy everything. Okay, we're going in. So here we go. Are you ready? Are you ready, Alan? Oh yes, right. Pop that over. Now, I keep everything. I keep all the envelopes and all the letters. They're all in the Tool Girl cupboard, and I think they're also in a drawer over there. There's so many of them. But saying that, I don't get that many letters, and feel free to send me one. I'm just taking the outer paper off the packaging, because I think that might be the note for me, without opening the main package, because that's for Holly. Let's have a little look. Here we go. Right. Okay, I'm going to show you this. I can show that. There we are. Look, that's Alan's note. He says, from Alan Cook in North Wales, UK. Enjoy. The sew-on badges for Andy. The drone bits are for Holly. Wow. So maybe I can extract the sew-on patch so you can see that. Is that okay, Alan? I can do that now? I think so. Okay, I've made an incision. That's the word they use if they're a surgeon, isn't it? I've made an incision. I'm going to camera, Andy, to camera. I'm going to extract the badge. Look at that. Very professional. Right. Look at that. That is Cooper's, was it Cooper's U-car? Is that right? Oh, Copper's U-car. Copper's U-car. What the hell is that? Copper's U-car. I've never heard of it before. Let's Google that. Let's Google the crap out of it. Copper's U-car. Formula 1 it says here. Copper's U-car. Ooh. Oh. Bloody hell. They're the fun. I need to do an update on my internet, and it asks me for a password, and I have no idea what my password is. Right. Copper's... We've got drips. The largest Brazilian exporter of sugar and ethanol. Energy to nourish and move life, bringing together field and industry. Copper's U-car is a global trader of sugar and ethanol, with integrated logistics throughout his entire business chain, operating excellence and sustainable value creation. Right, I did read something about Formula 1. That's probably more to do with the... Right, so obviously they... Images. images. Oh yes, very cool. Well, I like that. So they're well into their supporting the motor industry, aren't they? There's a good picture. Right, I'll show you on the Google. I'm sure you've all Googled it before me, but right, anyway, there we go. Right, very, very cool. Good job. So I have to get Mrs. Mechanic, Alan. I'll have to get Mrs. Mechanic to sew that. So this wonderful badge that you sent me, it's very colourful, it's nice. To sew that onto one of my shirts. Okay, I'll do that. Thank you very much, matey. I really, really appreciate that. And Mrs. Mechanic can find some nice yellow thread to sew it on for me. She's very good at sewing. She fixes. I'm constantly knocking buttons off, and she's always fixing buttons. And that's why you might find the odd shirt that's got a black button, not a blue one, because we ran out of blue buttons. Right, Alan, I will keep this. I'm going to put it back in the envelope for Holly when she comes back into the workshop in a few weeks' time. We've got all the bits now. I've just got to get my wheel back. I don't think we're going to be doing a video with the guy. He's been extremely difficult to communicate with, and the logistics, you know, I'm not going to drive 2 hours north of Auckland to go and do a video and find the guy isn't there or he cancels or something. So bit of a shame, because he's a real expert at spoke wheel building, and it would have been fantastic to have done a video with the guy showing his skill set. But unfortunately, there are many things that need to fall into place for that to happen, and communication is definitely one of them. Right, back on the comments. Right, Pat, Karen, done that. Jones, love the Tool Girls, especially Jade. You see, we all have our favourite, don't we? I obviously have to remain completely neutral, and to me they're all the same. They're all got this, they're identical. I can't like one more than the other. That would be classed as favouritism, and it would no doubt cause some serious disruption within the ranks. Ranks are ranks. Just to be sure. Now then, Jim K. Oh, you got the digger. Yes. I haven't got it yet. It's not here yet. But everything's lined up. I had to put it on finance, obviously. I got a pretty good deal on finance. Same guy I always use for the bikes and stuff. Very helpful. Ken at MTF, give him a shout out. Extremely good company, actually. Yes, they're not the cheapest around, but they're very, very good. And I remember when lockdown started last year, he actually rang me up and said, "Hey Andy, we've gone into lockdown. Would you like me to postpone your payments for a couple of months just to give you a bit of breathing space?" Because he didn't know how my income was going to be affected. And as regards my salary, it made no difference. I was still paid the same. I was very fortunate. Although early on we didn't quite know how things were going to pan out, but in hindsight, looking back, it was all fine. But it did make quite a big dent on the fact on my workshop jobs, because I couldn't go and collect anything. And I had more and more surf club vehicles backing up that needed needed fixing. But it did affect my cash flow. Was a bit hectic for a while. Had to sort of batten down the hatches, but it was real nice of him to ring me up, and obviously there are thousands of customers, but he chose to ring me up and just to check that I was okay. And we did actually put things on hold for a couple of months just to because there was a level of uncertainty in the air. I thought, well, let's just play it safe. And I don't think they charged me any more interest. Very, very cool. So it's those sort of gestures that you tend not to get from the bigger companies, that personal touch. So I'm very happy to deal with them. John Nuttall, just love that liquid sunshine sound. Thanks, John. Simon, the tractor sounds like the first step to the house in the South Islands. That was one of my reasons to justify the purchase, Simon. And then Mrs. Mechanic was like, okay. And then I moved in for the bonus, and obviously to build the shed, I've got to dig out the base and put in some rubble and stuff, and I'll need a whacker. We call it here in New Zealand. We call it in England. I've forgotten because I never really used one in England. I think it was still a whacker, and basically that's like a vibrating plate that you move around, and it you know what it is. It just sort of hardens up all the rubble and before you pour the concrete on. Gets rid of all the voids, packs it down, that's the words. So she said, well, just rent one. So why would you rent when you can buy one? Anyway, so you are correct. Cheers, Simon. Pat, get the forks now. You'll wonder how you lived without them. The other is a post hole digger. Yeah, I need to. It's like an auger. That's what they call it, an auger. I need to get one of them. But they're not cheap. Jim K, that is smart. Getting a tractor. Lots of potential content for the channel, and you can also rent Mrs. Mechanic out with it. I did say that to her actually. You could be a contractor. You could go off and dig holes for people and stuff. And she's like, no. Why would I want to do that? But I am going to get it road registered. It will have a number plate on it so I can drive it down the road. So we could maybe go and get a pie in the digger one day. How's that? Be a bit of fun, wouldn't it? Kyle Oak, appreciate the reply. You're a hero. Hey, no problem, Kyle. Steve, Holly gets my vote. We know you've got a thing for Holly, Steve. And I don't blame you, mate. I don't blame you at all. She's a top lass. She really is. Can't wait to get her back in the workshop again. I mean, I have a lot of fun with Holly, but again, I can't rate Holly over any of the other tool girls. I've got to stay impartial on that one. You guys can vote for what for whichever tool girl you like, but I have to stay impartial. It causes me no end of problems if I start to have a bit of favoritism going on. Kyle, is it mandatory to remove the oil if I want to remove? No, it's not. You could lay, put some old cushions down or something. And I take it it's probably fuel injected at that year. I can't remember what year it was now. It might be, but turn the fuel tap off if it's a car. But yes, it's going to leak a bit of petrol, but don't worry about it. Lay the bike over on its left side, and you can take the clutch cover off, leaving the engine oil in place. You can do that. I have seen bike shops do that with dirt bikes before. Obviously 4 strokes. And 2 strokes actually as well. Yep, 2 strokes because different gearbox. It's a bit of a cheap method. It doesn't look great, but hey, if you're doing it in your own garage and nobody else can see it, it doesn't matter, does it, to be honest? Jones, he's awesome. I've learned a lot. Thanks, Jones. Machine NZ, hey Andy, rain, and more rain. Yes, lots of rain, and I still have done nothing with the Myford. I'm just too busy at the moment. It sits on my bench, looking old and classic, and can't wait to get it working again. And it was actually in use when I bought it, so it was in a working condition. Although the chuck bearing, the main bearing down the chuck, is completely shot. Dave went, look at this, clunk, 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 clunk. How the hell do you machine anything with that, Dave? Anyway, Alan Cook, see you next week. Cheers, Alan. You got your mention. Thank you very much for sending the package through. Really appreciate it. It's getting quite noisy in here with the rain now. Thanks, Machine NZ. Right, so I still need to show you the laser cutting we've had done, and got myself a new pair of boots. I did. I've currently got some Caterpillar boots. I have a pair of leather ones that I wear for work, just for every day. That's fine, and they're good enough to go into workshops, but they're easy enough to drive in. But I did get another pair of cat boots, thinking they'll be of equal quality. These are steel toe cap ones that I wear in the workshop, and I'm not very impressed. They haven't lasted very long and they're falling apart. So I went to go and buy a different brand, and maybe you've heard of them, maybe you haven't. I don't know. We'll have a look. Yes, good point, John. The bike with the clutch, with the gearbox issue, the Kawasaki, I think it was, the Ninja. If it hasn't got a gel battery on it, take the battery out. Because you don't want to be leaking acid all over your bike. That would be a bad idea. Thanks, John. Totally overlooked that. Appreciate it. Right, let's go and have a look at this laser cutting. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay, careful with the camera, Andy. So, some of you may recognize these. Now, the biggest problem for me was the last company that made these for me. They made them 30mm too long. I know, don't ask why. 30mm too long in the middle. So I had to cut out a 30 mil section and then weld the whole thing back together again. It was an absolute palaver and took me all weekend to sort them out. But these guys have even done the holes for me. Bloody good. We got the drawings finalised, double checked everything. We even put radiuses on the ends now as well to tidy it all up. So a quick run off with a flat disc. This plate, there's two plates. This one requires these holes to be drilled out by 6.8s and then tapped M8, and then they're done. I might use the countersink. I think I might be running a drill through these. I'm going to go to 10.5 just to give the whole thing a little bit of leeway. And these are only laser cut holes, but they're bloody good, to be honest. So I'll just run a 10.5 through those and then run over with a flat disc, and then they're ready for painting. This is the front plate. That's right. And the reason why it has 3 holes here is these 2 are clearance holes for bolts that are sticking through off the frame of the vehicle. But other than that, a quick clean-up, and this one is actually good to go. There's nothing else to do on this, a bit of apart from a clean-up, and again I might run a 10.5 through these 4 these 4 holes over there, look. Now we also had made up, careful with the camera Andy, careful with the camera, we also had made up the spacer plates, which are these ones. So these go between those. These are a 10mm plate as well. Those other ones actually over here, one of them is a 12mm, which I think is that one. No, sorry, that's a 10mm, and that one should be a 12. It better be a 12. One of them's a 12. Have they got it the wrong way around? I think they have. Oh no, that's right. This is the front plate. Phew. Front plate 10, spacer plate 10mm, rear plate 12mm. Total thickness 32mm, which is what it has to be. That's absolutely critical because it fits inside some channel. So I've got all those to clean up, and again these all need 10.5s running through them, and that one should just be an 8. And that's my original prototype down here, look, the one that I made ages ago. And that one is one that they ran off without the holes in, so I just got to drill the holes in that and I get another kit. And then these are by a different company. These are essentially the outer plates that go with the kit, and there's 4 of these per kit, but you've seen all those before anyway. So we've got everything we need now to get all these kits done apart from the bolts, and Jared at Forge is sorting out the bolts for me. So yes, lots of kits to make up, but be a good job when it's done. Now the boots, while we're up and about, this is the company, Blundstone. They're made in Tasmania. That was a good one. Tasmania. Australia. And they were made in 1870s. They're pretty old boots. Funny, Andy. Funny. Right. So here we go, look. This is what we got. Wires everywhere. This is what we got. Oh, we get warranty and everything. Look at those. Oh, those smart. And they've got the quick release zip. I do like the quick release zip when you go in the house. Much easier to get on and off. Steel toe caps as well, which is good for in the workshop, but I do like those. They're very smart, aren't they? Size 10 UK. Blundstone. And they'll have an oil resistant, there, heat and oil resistant. Heat, oil and acid resistant sole. That's pretty cool. Good job. I think this is all leather. So, haven't tried them on yet. Hopefully they'll be right. Here, look, Blundstone. Since 1870, we've been shaped by a remote and wild island home of Tasmania, a place of rugged natural beauty where comfort and durability are essential. We know that when you pull on a pair of Blundstones, you set out to do something. That's why we are devoted to making boots to suit whatever life takes you. So wherever life takes you. Whilst our boots won't change the world by themselves, you just might. That's a great little one, isn't it? I like that. Whilst our boots won't change the world by themselves, you just might. Everywhere life takes me, trademark. Good job, Blundstone. So there you go. New boots. Can't go wrong, can you? Right, back to the bench. Well, I think we successfully managed to navigate our way around the workshop without showing you the bike on the hoist. My apologies, but I'm very pleased that I didn't. Otherwise, I'd be in big trouble. Now, back to the comments again. I'll try and speak up because it is really noisy in here now. Right, hang on. Just scrolling down. Right. Oh, Jones, show us your everyday rider. Well, I don't ride every day. This is the problem now. Pretty much every day I drive a Ford Ranger Ute, 3.2 diesel, and auto gearbox. It's not a motorcycle. All my motorcycles at this point in time are outside in the rain. The only one that I could show you would be a KTM 640 LC4 Super Motard of the 2006 vintage. It's the last model with the carburetor. It's a phenomenally good bike. I actually have two of them. Don't ask me why. I've done, between the two bikes, about 100,000 kilometers on them, but I haven't ridden either of them for, well, years, in all honesty. So there's going to be a bit of work required to get them back up and running again. I do ride bikes regularly, but just not my own. So sorry, Jones, I can't show you. I would get drenched for going outside. Kyle, neat. Those are very nice. Thanks, Kyle. Simon Raw, will Rivnuts not be a lot faster for the plates than you get to buy a new tool? I've already got a Rivnut, but no, I'd rather just tap them out, to be honest. It's what I did on the other ones, and I would have to use a Rivnut. Because the Rivnuts have a little flange on them, as you know, Simon. It has to be completely flat, so I would have to machine out where the Rivnut would fit, which would just be a ball ache of a job, to be honest. It's not going to happen on this application, but good call. Kyle, Protector Contra, always good on new boots, water and stain protector. Protector Contra. Is that a spray that you put on them, or some kind of, preservative thing? I've not heard of Protector Contra before. I don't think we get it over here. Machine NZ, perhaps I should have mentioned the rain. Oh, cheers, thanks. Perhaps I shouldn't have mentioned the rain. Yeah, since you mentioned it, the heavens have opened. Jones, my boots are carbon fibre. What? My boots are carbon fibre, so they will go through a metal. Oh, you mean the steel toe cap bit isn't steel toe cap, it's a carbon fibre protector? That's pretty cool. Yeah, there's nothing worse than going to the airport wearing steel toe caps, is there? Right. Time for one more cigarette, because the last one pretty much burnt out. And I think... Oh, there is something else, actually. One more thing. What are we on? An hour and 22. Okay. So, in the post, every month or thereabouts, I get one of these from Machinery House. Now, they're not a sponsor to the channel. I have invited them to sponsor the channel, but they give me a good price and stuff. So I thought it might be interesting to compare a few prices around the world. Tools here in New Zealand, and you've also got to take into sort of account what the average earnings is for somebody in New Zealand. I mean, the minimum wage has gone up recently. But to give you an idea, and you can sort of see how this fares in your neck of the woods, we've got, that's not bad, we've got a pillar drill, a BD325, medium duty bench drill, which means it's light duty really, and clamp. Oh, okay. So you get a basically a little clamp to go with it. That one there looks. It's a bit like a pair of mole grips, but it drops in between the little slots, so you can clamp some work down. You get one of those free with it, and that here is, what is it? $322 plus GST. Don't forget, all these prices are plus GST, and GST over here is 15%. Now the specs are. Sorry about the sound quality, crew. 16mm drill capacity, a 2MT spindle, 12 spindle speeds, swivel and tilt bed, sorry, table, swivel and tilt table, a 1 horsepower 240 volt motor, and it includes BD 325 drill and the VGP 9 locking clamp, all for $322. And that's a saving of $126.50. They're not a sponsor. They haven't paid me to promote their stuff. I just thought it'd be interesting to see how that price compared to something similar in your neck of the woods. Now, I pretty much guarantee it's going to be made in China. But yeah, so 1 horsepower, 12 speed, 16 mil chuck, $322 plus GST, plus 15%. How does that compare to buying something similar in your area? Let's talk about it. Machine NZ should be straight on the case with this one. But, you know, he's in New Zealand, so... Obed Madara. Lovely New Zealand morning today. Yes, it's wonderful. I've got drips all over the workshop starting now. It's not going to be great. I'll get the heater fired up. You know, it's getting a bit chilly now. John Nuttall. Okay, why are there the 7 bottles over the garage door, Andy? Oh, yes. You mean? Look at that. Those there. Those are the start when I was making the beams for the steel work for the workshop to hold the roof up. Because I was taking all the wooden timbers out, which was a great thing to do, by the way. It's made the workshop so much better. Obviously, at the end of a long day's welding and fabricating and stuff, you just had to have a beer. So Mrs. Mechanic said, hey, rather than just throw them out, why not just put the beer bottles up on the beam at the back, on the last standing wooden beam? And I said, okay, we can do that, and that's where they've been ever since. Plus, there is, hang on, I'll take you down there actually. Very careful with the camera, Andy, careful with the camera. There's one here, the Henry Winston. Sorry, my apologies, I can't remember who sent me it, but one of the viewers sent me that. And then that sort of started the collection, really. And then we've got a few more. But I haven't added to it. I really should add to it, really. Because I've drunk a lot more beer since then. But yeah. Pretty cool. Been there a long time, and they haven't fallen off yet, which is good. They've got that little earthquake-proof strap on there, just to make sure they don't fall on the floor. Yes. Don't look at the wiring. Please don't look at the wiring. I know, it's terrible. Right. Back to the bench. There we go. Pressed it once and nothing happened. Jones, you can now have a steel toe cap boot in a nuclear plant. Do you mean because you'd use a carbon fibre one? Or have they changed the rules? I don't know. Obed, wiring is professional. It's not. It isn't at all. Everything, I'll tell you now, everything in this workshop, well, actually it's changed a bit since then, but it used to be all off one plug. One plug, everything. One plug. And if I had to do any welding, I had to run an extension back to the house to run all the lights, and then I could run the MIG off the feed to the workshop because the wiring was so crap at the time. There was huge volt drops, and I was really struggling to weld these beams because they're quite thick steel. Kyle, when's the last time you went on a decently long ride, 45 minutes plus, on your on my motorcycles? There's the problem. The last time I went for a ride that was more than 45 minutes long on one of my motorcycles was it would have been probably a couple of years ago. Mrs. Mechanic wanted to go for a ride. It was a glorious Sunday afternoon, and she wanted to go to Taupo because I live in the sticks. I don't live in Taupo itself. So we got all geared out, and we got all the helmet and jacket and stuff on, and got the bike fired up, put some fresh fuel in it. And it was, I can't even tell you the brand of what it is. It's the one I can't tell you. It's got a 200cc engine. It's got 2 seats. It's got a square headlight. It's got a really fat back tyre. Jim will know what it is. And quite a fat front tyre as well. It's a very distinctive kind of bike that they made for many, many years and do still make. And it's made in Japan. Hence one of the reasons why I bought it. And I bought it for the collection, really, because I do like them. I actually hired one of those on the island of Lesbos for about 10 days, where me and Mrs. Mechanic, when we were very young, charged around the island on it, down all the dirt tracks and stuff. Great fun. Got arrested, I think, got stopped by the military police on at least one occasion. I think we ventured into areas that we shouldn't have gone into, but we got away with it. Oh, it stopped raining for a bit, which means it might start dripping soon. So she said, "Oh, can we go the long way to Taupo?" And I mean, there's lots of long ways. She wanted to go round the bottom of the lake and back up to Taupo town, as opposed to the direct route, which would have not taken us anywhere near the lake until we got to Taupo. And I said, "Do you realise how far that is?" And she goes, "Not really." I said, "Well, it's well over 100 kilometres." But hey, we set off. We did it. Took us about 2 hours to get there and about another hour to get, well, maybe 45 minutes to get home. So that was a good ride. But if we're talking about riding motorcycles in general, then only about a week ago, I finished a ride from Taupo down to Queenstown in the South Island. That was it was a 6.5, 7 day ride, and I did 2,650 kilometres on that one. And previous to that, I was in Australia, and I borrowed a bike from work. It was a 690cc twin cylinder, 4-stroke trail adventure bike type thing. I'm pretty sure you can work out what it is. Recently, at that time, in fact, it was just about to be released to market, and I did 2,000 kilometers in 2 and a little bit days. So I can ride. That was a long way, to be honest. It was a long, long ride in 2 days. So hopefully, Kyle, that's answered your question on that one. Simon, all the UK drills with the same type of spec are 500 watt motors, about 7 horsepower. No, not 7 horsepower, surely. Surely not 7. That must be a typo, Simon. Doesn't say what wattage this one is, it just says it's 1 horsepower. Come on, Simon, answer the question. Is it really 7 horsepower? 250 quid. So 250 pounds is just, at this exchange rate, is just over 500 New Zealand dollars. And then you've probably got a bit of government tax on that as well. So it's, I suppose, Buddy Simon trolling us. That's more like it. 0.7. I was going to say massive, great motor. 0.7 of horsepower, so a little bit underpowered. So not a bad deal all up, really, to be fair, for what it is. I had a Sealy pillar drill back in the UK, and it was brilliant until the day I left England, and I didn't bring it with me. And I wish I had. I didn't. There was nothing wrong with it. And I should have, 2 bolts and it would have been on the trailer, and I didn't bring it. Jim K, sound kits are such a pain to install. Well, the plan, Jim, and it's going to happen, I was thinking about it only last night while I was asleep, which is really weird, is I have another carport to build on this side of the workshop, which is going to have a higher roof. And that works out really well because I'm going to extend the new roof of that carport to go completely over the old workshop. So I'm not going to re-roof this workshop, I'm just going to put another roof above it, which might sound a bit weird, but the reason for it is it'll cut down tremendously on the rain noise. This old roof will stop leaking because no more rain will go on it, And the third thing is it will have an insulating gap between the two roofs, which means that the sunshine that beats down on the roof, a lot more get reflected away because it's shiny zinc corrugated iron that I'll be using. But also, having that gap, the heat won't penetrate into the workshop. So lots of benefits for doing that. Yes, it's quite a big project, but I'm sure it's the best way forward. And it'll mean that I don't have to take the old roof off the workshop and expose everything inside to the elements whilst I'm doing the work, because it'd probably be a lot more than one day. Knowing me, it'll be weeks, if not months, and it would make things like live streams very, very difficult. And things in the workshop would have to get moved around a bit because they might get water on them. So there you go. Machine NZ bought a few items from Machinery House. A Vertex mill vise and rotary table. Great quality. Whether I buy a lathe or mill is another question. They are Chinese, so I'd have to do my homework first. Yeah, I did look at a milling machine not too long ago on TradeMe actually. It was an old one. And it seemed to be going I think it was made in England. It was a good one. I can't remember the brand. And it looked to be in pretty serviceable condition. And the old British stuff does seem to last forever. Although it did go it went for slightly more than what my budget was. So I had to stop bidding for it. And it did weigh a lot. And it would have required something like a tractor with a pair of forks to unload it. Which at that point in time, I hadn't even thought about buying. So unloading it at this end would have been extremely difficult and probably quite dangerous, knowing me. So another reason really for holding off until we get the infrastructure in place to accommodate the logistics of such a purchase. Far too complicated words there, Mr. Young. Right, I think we've run out of stuff to do. We've done the pie, we've done the boots, we've done the laser cutting, so a huge project there to get done, as well as all these ROVs to service and underseal and things. So much to do, never enough time. But it has been great talking to you guys again this morning. Yet again, another wonderful live stream in my opinion. Lots of engagement from the viewers, so thank you very much for that. And lots of regular viewers, and that's what really gives this live stream value, is that we get people coming back time and time again to watch Andy smoke cigarettes, drink cold coffee, and talk about, well, whatever you want to talk about. It's been great fun. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm a bit more awake, a bit more vitalised now to get my work done today. So I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, why not? Give us a thumbs up. There's still a few more thumbs up to go. We're at 28 thumbs up, and we've got 39 viewers at the moment, so there should be a few more go on there. If you'd like to support the channel, you can do that in many different ways. Sure, you can send some money through, people do. You can do that through Patreon. You can become a patron to the channel, although to be fair, I haven't posted anything new for probably about a year. You can also use PayPal, and the email address for that is andymechanic@live.co.uk. Quietness, how good is that? If you just want to help out, you could also send something through like Alan did through the post, and the PO box address is in the description, and it's got a pretty damn good chance of getting here. Unfortunately, Steve sent me something a while ago that has still not turned up. Most disappointing from the postal service side of things. Thank you again, Steve, for sending it, and if it ever does turn up, I will of course let you know. One other thing you could do, if you like, is you can always share a video, any video, one that you found interesting on the channel, share it on your social media platforms, and let's see if we can get a few more people on board with the Andy Mechanic YouTube channel. Okay, crew, well, while it's nice and quiet, I'll sign off. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next Sunday, 8:30 AM. Cheers now, over and out.